All right, y'all, let's do this thing. It is time for a TZL dosage. Thank you guys for stopping in and hanging out, and let's see what we can come up with in terms of. And when I say come up with, and I'm saying come up with some truth, right? Just not come up with some whatever, but let's see if we can come up with some practical questions, man. Some practical perspective, and of course, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to watch the chat feed, y'all. You know that I get on a roll, man, and sometimes it's hard for me. And I'm a drummer, man. I should be used to be able to, do a few things at at once, But I guess that's the only place where I'm like, I have like a little bit of talent in multitasking. But I'm gonna try, man. I'd like to get you guys' input on this, prayerful input, y'all, because we definitely we could use some truth and definitely some rationality. As far as this stuff goes. So I'm not going to pretend to sit here and act like I really know what to say. It looks like Biden knew what to say, though. And what he had to say was a bunch of blame, right? He's going to try to pass the buck on the previous administration, somehow that this is Trump's fault. And don't get me wrong, y'all, whatever Trump was doing, and I know Democrats don't like it, and this just ain't part of their plan anyway. And what's up, y'all? I see y'all coming in. Thank you guys so much for making TZL like one of your favorite hangouts, in our little banished corner of the internet. But with Trump, whatever he was doing, the Taliban wouldn't have been able to do this. All right. So now as it is, they're able to just go ahead and sit with their feet up on the desk of prominent locations and be like, what's up? How you like me now? So they weren't able to do that, at least while Trump was in office. But, the thing is, even going in, Trump's approach to this was questionable to me, man, because, his position on the Iraq war. And I agree with him to an extent, but here's the thing. We know that there's a problem with, like in America, we have a problem with sanctuary cities. Okay, so when you got sanctuary cities, you are basically making a place for people to come in who aren't supposed to, be here. It's like, look, don't get me wrong. Immigration is a beautiful thing. Illegal immigration is not. All right, immigration made America the beautiful, vibrant, and colorful place that it is. And as I say, we're not a country that's better than anybody else. We are everybody else. All right, so immigration is not a problem. As conservatives, that's not our beef. Coming in unannounced, just coming in willy-nilly and not abiding by the law, that's the thing that we have a problem with. So we got a problem with these sanctuary cities they do pose a problem. When you have places like Iraq giving sanctuary or giving safe haven for people to conduct their operations who want to do harm to the rest of the world, well, that's a problem. You might want to do something about that. So the problem with going into Iraq, in my humble opinion, is that if you're gonna do it, freaking do it. Don't send our men and women in the service to go over to fight, with one hand tied behind their back and have them hopping on one leg. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Have them go in to kill and break stuff. They're not imperialists. They're not there to commit murder. These people are there to dispatch of murderers. That was their job. So you send them in and let them go in there with the full might of our military and just handle it. But since that approach wasn't really taken, it was kind of a waste of time. From my so I understand where Trump is coming from, but I don't think he should have been just against it outright. If he was against it coming from the standpoint, and I haven't heard otherwise, so please pardon me if I missed that, but from I haven't heard Trump say, hey, unless you're gonna go in to like win it, don't do it. It just seemed like he was just flat out against it. And like I said, if this is a spot that's giving safe haven for terrorists to conduct their activities and a major financer of it, yeah, you might want to do something about that and do it hard, right? Like hit it hard. So like I said, Trump's approach to this, may have been a little bit, and it's not like I don't think he has the onions to do it, just say, hey man, just go ahead in there and throw down. I just think he may just have simply a bias against it for whatever his reasons were. But I don't know if that was really the right attitude to have towards it. I'm not certain. I know one can say, that's easy to say for you you to say you've not been in the military and stuff like that. No, I haven't. No, and as we see right now, you don't have to wear the uniform to be, that doesn't make a person the final word or the experts. We see, people, we got brass and we got chiefs making some very strange decisions, all right? So just because they wear the uniform and they got a whole bunch of brass that they're wearing doesn't mean that, that we can't question some of this stuff. It's like, hey man, what are you doing? Right. So, yes, I'm not assuming to be an expert. Of course, I respect those who are, I listen to those who have served and are serving, but that does not say that their word is absolute. So, no, I have not served, but I have my concerns, and I don't want to abuse my right to free speech to just say stuff. I hope that I am prayerfully and considerate about the things that I'm saying, and I hope everybody would take that approach, not just saying stuff just to get something off their chest. You know what I'm saying? You got something on your mind and you just want to say it, and not let our emotions get the better of us. I think, I'd like to think that we're really trying to, offer up questions that raise light, not just raise heat. You know what I'm saying? So, this approach that's been going on, for what, 20 years? Yeah, and this goes way further back than that, man. This has been an ongoing thing, right? America pretty much started off, with Islam having beef with America. Okay, this goes way back, man, way back, and America, being, I guess, the evil imperialists that we are, a long time ago we could have decimated Islamic states. But we don't do that because we're not this malevolent force in the world. But at the same time, there is two factions of it. There is a benevolent aspect to a benevolent aspect and a malevolent aspect. One of the reasons why Islam is not totally destroyed is because there is a malevolent aspect of America that does want them to survive. They're allied with these people. Right? They're called Democrats. They are allied with Islam. Okay, so their objective is the same. They both hate Jews and they want Israel eradicated. So yes, Democrats are going to take steps to get them closer and closer to this objective. Remember, y'all, don't forget the Democrats are the party of the KKK. That's who they are, and they hate Jews. All right, look at their model. Their model, economically and socially, is lined up with Nazis. They're practically the same people. They're not being as direct as Hitler was, but they hate Jews as much as Hitler does. They hate them and they are envious of them and you name it. They do not like Jews. That's just who Democrats have always been. That's who they are. So yes, they are allied with Muslims and they're not flipping dumb. They know what they're doing. Okay, so anyway, y'all, what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to say a bunch of stuff. Like I said, I'm not assuming to be an expert here. I'm just, I like you. We'd like to have some clear perspective on this. And sometimes getting to that clear perspective, you might see how the sausage is made, right? But so, now another thing that people seem to have a problem with is this idea of nation building. America's nation building. We shouldn't be nation building. Let me offer a couple of perspectives on that, if I may. Nation building in terms of we go over there and we make this infrastructure on different levels, and basically what we're trying to do is, you want to put these people in a position where it's like, dude, you don't want to fight us. Let's offer you this. Let's help you build this and build that and sort of stuff, and hopefully we can make a friend out of you, right? Sometimes the best way to destroy an enemy is to make a friend. I get that. Go ahead and establish free elections and things like that where people can vote in their representatives. And I understand all that. It's well-meaning. Heck, on first glance, it sounds good to me too, right? But the thing is, in order for you to nation build in an area like this, before you build that up, you would have to completely tear it down. I mean, tear it down to dust, not even the rubble, to dust, right? The thing is, y'all, the system there, the whole wiring of it, of course, is tied up in a theocracy. It's a theocratic way of living. And the theocracy that they live by, of course, is totally oppressive. It's satanic, right? Just flat out, it's satanic. But the thing is, they are steeped in it. That's who they are, right? You can't just go in and reorganize their economic system, their governmental system, how they do anything, their education or indoctrination, all of it. It's wired into who they are. You can't take that stuff down without taking down the person. That's into them. They're not born that way, but they are hit with it from the time that they can, once they can even start to walk, right? That's just wired into them. And, you can't build a nation on that. Unless it is just torn down to dust. And of course, in order to do that, you'd have to tear down the person too, because that's all part of who they are. Now, when you have these Democrats, they understand that, y'all. Please understand. Democrats, their worldview is stupid. I'm sorry. It's just, it is. They got a dumb worldview. It's matter of fact, it's supernaturally stupid. When you just like, dude, how do you believe that? How can you believe something so obvious to be wrong? And because they willfully believe that, that's when it becomes stupid, right? And they are evil geniuses in achieving these stupid objectives. All right. So, I mean, when you look at, like, say, for instance, with Afghanistan, it sounds stupid, like when Biden places the blame that he does and makes the case of, it sounds dumb when Biden is saying that Afghan is they're too dependent on the U.S. But at the same time, y'all, he's kind of right. Obviously, Biden was right. But of course, Democrats make it this way. It's not a good thing that he's right in this, y'all. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, if America was the linchpin, that all you had to do was pull this linchpin out, and then all of a sudden the Taliban just comes in and just takes over Afghanistan, well, that means that Biden is right. Afghanistan was too dependent on the U.S. They weren't training themselves up to fight. They were not training themselves up to deal with this. Not at all. Way too dependent on the U.S., obviously. I mean, did I miss something? America pulls out, and then the Taliban just comes in and takes over in a matter of hours? So yeah, evidently Biden was right. But however, thank you, Democrats, for making it that way. You can't, it's like, you don't allow them to do nothing. I mean, one, Democrats make sure that our enemies are fortified and funded. So any step that the Afghans take that wanted to improve and be able to have defenses put in order, well, here the Taliban and the Muslim allies of the Democrats are making sure that they're getting funded and weapons, making sure that the playing field is never level. How are we just supposed to keep dispatching our U.S. forces over there while Taliban just keeps getting stronger? We can't just do that. So Democrats make sure that the enemy has what they need, and Afghanistan, they can't do anything. It was because we can only engage with them so much. We can only offer them so much. So what can Afghanis do to really improve in terms of defending themselves? So Democrats have engineered it. They've made it that way. So they've made it to where, hey, they can go ahead and pull on out like it's the noble thing to do. It's engineered. This is a strategy. But see, the Democrat elite depend on the Democrat drones, their voter stock, to be so steeped in imagination, right? See, Democrats, the Democrat drones, the voter stock, they're way given over to imagination, y'all. They're way given over to imagination. And it's almost like their imagination becomes allocated to this one thing. And because they're so concentrated in this imagination allocated to this one thing, it's almost like they can't imagine anything else being worse. To a Democrat, the Democrat drones, the pacifists or whichever, they think there's nothing worse than war. They really don't. Even though they go on about slavery and they go on about these things that are just so awful, and despite all that, despite racism and slavery and these or oppression of women and all that sort of stuff that they just think is just so horrible and so ugly, they still don't think that there's anything worse than war, selectively. But for like an instance like this, they think there's nothing worse than war. They don't think there's anything worse than some sort of military engagement or some sort of conflict. They don't think there's anything worse than that, right? So a lot of conservatives think that this is going to be the end of Biden. I don't think so. I don't think so, right? I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they'll be like, hey, Biden. I mean, of course, that means we get Kamala Harris, which would really suck. No pun intended. Look here. So Biden doing this, y'all, this is evil genius. It's evil genius. I'm telling you. All the Democrats are doing is they got that long game going, y'all. I mean, remember what LBJ said, man. LBJ was looking 200 years into the future. 200 years, right? I'll have those N-words voting for Democrats for the next 200 years. Democrats, it's a strange thing about Democrats, man. Even though that they are the party of instant gratification, entitlement, we want it now, gimme, 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 or else we're gonna throw a tantrum and a hissy fit and all that sort of stuff. But man, they got that long game going. Y'all don't underestimate. I'm sorry, man. Too many conservatives underestimate. Y'all just think that they're dumb. They're not exactly dumb. They know how to play to the base nature. They know how to play to the base nature of people. Okay, they know how to do that, and conservatives totally underestimate that. They don't know. It's like too many Republican voters do not know who Democrats are. You don't know who they are. You're puffed up because you get all this information from your mainstream media conservative talk shows, and now you think that you're armed up. You think that you got all this information by these fire-breathing, conservatives who just know everything because of all the books they write and the books they read and all that sort of stuff, ain't told you nothing about who the Democrats actually are and what to do with that information. Nothing useful, right? But, I mean, hey, as long as they stoke your pride and stroke your ego and get you mad and all that sort of stuff, I mean, I guess they're doing their job. You're just getting, like I said, you're just getting frustrated. They're getting rich. All right, so these Democrats aren't stupid. They're positioning more and more for Israel to get wiped out. So and we got, like I said, when you got these weak-kneed rhinos in there going along, that it's never Democrats acting like Republicans. It's Republicans acting like Democrats. That's why people can hardly tell the difference between the two. But as usual, Republican voters give Democrats everything that they need to pull off their success. Even right now, you got a lot of conservatives, Republicans, they're giving Joe Biden a pass. Conservatives are. Again, I keep telling Republican voters over and over, why do you keep giving the Democrats pass? Why do you keep helping them get away with their evil and advancing their evil? Are you working with them? Sometimes I gotta want to say, really, Republicans, what are you doing? The most rock-ribbed or the most, or staunch conservatives. It's like, man, you help them more than Soros does when you get down to it. So right now, another example of that is that too many Republicans are saying, that Joe Biden has dementia, and he's got a mental illness. Do you know who Biden is? Joe Biden doesn't have dementia. He's demented. Don't get it twisted, okay? He's demented. It's not dementia. He's demented. He's evil. All right? The dude is straight up evil. If his mind is deteriorating, it is deteriorating with a base of evil. Right? He was already there, y'all. He was already there. So But like I said, man, we got these, conservatives, a lot of Republican voters, y'all know what's up. That's like I said, that's why you guys come and we hang out here, because we see what's going on, and praise be to God, y'all help me be sane, because it's like, and still stay the course, because it's like y'all, it's like, man, I'm not crazy, man. I know there's some others out there who know what I'm talking about, man. So it's like, thank you guys. But too many Republicans, too many, Republican voters, it's like they get all these smarts and just think that Democrats are dumb. Okay, well, fine. That's fine. Democrats are stupid. Great. They're stupid. What good are all your smarts if you can't defend against these stupid people? Stupid people just walked into the White House. What'd you do about it? Right? But as a matter of fact, what you do, you let some other people impersonate you and go in and do an insurrection on the White House, and now the country is blaming you. Oh, but we conservatives, we're so smart, and Democrats are so dumb, right? Maybe we should stop underestimating these people, all right? Don't underestimate the danger of stupidity. So, because these people are doing a lot of damage with it, evil geniuses, I'm trying to tell you. It's like, it's like I'm trying to tell, Republicans, we act like Democrats are so naive about evil. You're really naive about what Islam is doing. No, they're not. This is engineered. Right? You want to talk about what's naive about evil? When you got Republicans out there going to the schools and demanding that our kids go back to school. Get our kids back in school right now. That's naive about evil. You know why? Because you want your kids to go back to the same Democrats who have been teaching them this nonsense all along. Matter of fact, a lot of these parents who are demanding their kids go back to school were the same ones taught by Democrats themselves. That is naive about evil. All right, I see it all over the place. Conservatives talk about they want to get our kids back in school, the place where God isn't and where the godless are, who are teaching them, who are teaching generations to be on the side of Palestine against Israel, and who are in the streets demanding that our country become a socialist state. That's naive about evil. All right, so Trump, naive about evil. Sorry, yes, Trump. That's why he was ousted of the White House and Democrats just walked in. You know why? Because Trump, naive about evil. Dude, you are naive about who the Democrats are. Totally naive. It's not about what Democrats do. It's who they are. And Trump does, well, he was one. But the reason why he was one is because he didn't know who they were. That's just what he was around. All right? He kind of got a wake-up call about who they are, ran as a Republican. He still doesn't know who Democrats are. He doesn't know. Trump, you can't know who the Democrats are and to be at a Confederate base praising Confederate soldiers. You can't do that because you don't know who the Democrats, well, I mean, you can because you don't know who Democrats are. If you knew who Democrats are, you wouldn't be at a Confederate base. And I'm trying to tell you, Trump, that stuff really hurts you. It hurts you badly. You engineered your own defeat by these cheaters. You did that. You helped them win. Doing stuff like that. Catering to people who are given over to the stuff. You don't think that much of the Republicans aren't brainwashed and naive about what evil is while you got these Republicans out there waving around the Confederate flag, the very flag of their enemies, the flag of the Democrat Party? And you want to tell me that Republicans aren't naive to evil? Yes, too many Republicans are very naive to evil. Okay, so anyway, y'all, in the hands of Democrats, it would just seem like, hey, they're just ineffective. They look ineffective, like when you got militants that would attack an American diplomatic compound in Benghazi. But hey, what difference does that make, right? But that stuff is engineered. It's all about maneuvering them just a little bit closer. Long game, y'all. I'm telling y'all, the Democrats got that long game worked out. Conservatives, they try to make fun of Biden, thinking that he's, this is the sad part of this, is that when you got Republicans calling out who Democrats are without knowing who they're calling out and not understanding how they're able to do what they do. You guys have probably heard it too. How many times you keep hearing, where's Biden? People be talking about Biden. Where's Biden? Like he's Waldo or something like that. Where's Biden? He's the invisible president. Where's Biden? He's the invisible president. Again. And when Republicans say this, like, dude, do you guys realize what you're saying? You guys have all this material and you don't know how to defeat the enemy with this stuff? You keep saying Biden is the invisible president. Where's Biden? Where's Biden? He's the invisible president. The Democrat founded KKK. What do they call themselves? They call themselves the Invisible Empire. This goes right over conservatives' heads. Right over their heads. They keep giving the Democrats, oh man, Republicans, they just do not understand how much the Democrats give them. And just drop it. And you guys want to act like our military chiefs are dropping the ball? Come on, man. Come on, man. You know how blind it is? It's the same blindness with the Democrats. This is funny. Like with the Democrat drones, they can see racism in freaking everything, right? You know the one place that they haven't one business that they haven't rated, a business that they haven't rated is Circle K. You would think that Circle K would be a prime suspect for the Democrat Party, right? The person who founded Circle K was a Democrat himself and found this chain of stores, I think it was called K's or something like that. So he bought like 3 of them, right? And ended up calling it Circle K. And so you would think that this would totally set off the Democrat drones radar, but this place was founded by a Democrat, right? A racist to boot, right? He was indeed a racist. Okay, so this place was founded, 3 Ks to start with, calls it Circle K, and KKK itself, Ku Klux Klan, means the circle of the ring family. Right, or the ring family. That's what Ku Klux Klan means, or the family circle. That's what it is. Circle K. So that place has never been touched. But you would think that as sensitive as these people are about racism, they haven't touched this place. And it's like a lot of times I see conservatives doing the same thing. Totally blind to what's right in front of them to be able to just totally just make a huge blow, just a torpedo blast in the broadside of the Democrat ship, but they don't do it. They don't do it. It's like I said, every time, and I keep going on because this is how Democrats are beating conservatives. They keep saying, hey, white privilege, and Republicans deny it, giving the Democrats a total pass. It's not white privilege, it's Democrat privilege, whatever, man. Okay, you can do that all you want to. You're not winning with that. You're not. That's what you guys keep trying. You guys keep going with that. That's your go-to defense, and it doesn't work for you. It's like you would think. It's like Einstein said, hey, insanity isn't thinking that you can do the same thing over and over again. And maybe I'm insane because I keep trying to tell y'all, and nobody's listening. It doesn't have any effect. It's not doing anything. I'm trying to tell conservatives, hey, you might want to stop doing that. Are they listening? No. Why do I keep trying to tell? It's like speaking to a flipping brick wall. You know, now I really miss my brick wall rants, right? It's like speaking to a brick wall. I'm trying to tell you. It's like, why do you guys keep doing that? What do you keep calling radicals for? They're only getting worse. You keep calling radicals, they're just getting worse. Maybe you should stop calling that because that's not what they are. They're not radicals. There's no radical Islam. That's a really redundant statement. What do you, Islam is already extreme. It's already psychotic. They're not radical. See, when you have Muslims out there going crazy on each other, let me explain something to the Republican voter who keeps insisting on calling Muslims radicals. Let me explain something to you, please. You cannot be a radical if you are not rooted in anything. To be a radical, you have to have a solid foundation. Islam is not founded on something solid. It has no core. You cannot satisfy it. It is an abyss. Proof positive, you got Muslims out there killing other Muslims because as far as they're concerned, none of them can live up to the statutes of their religion. It is vapor. It is nothing. It cannot be satisfied. It has no root. Do you understand? There's no root to selfishness. It is a bottomless pit. And when you keep calling them radicals, you are misleading people. You are giving over to the tactics of Saul Alinsky. I'm trying to tell you, but you guys keep doing it. And you wonder why these people keep getting stronger. Because you're helping to mislead people. You're helping to lead people away from the truth. This causes breakdown. But see, to y'all, it's just semantics. When you guys use it, when you guys call it, oh, this radical, you guys think it has force. You think it has substance. And when I tell you the truth about it, you just think I'm being semantical. So here's an idea. Maybe you should look at all the stuff that's being tried and see that it doesn't work, and stop overlooking and being dismissive about the things that haven't been tried. And one thing that you guys do not try to do is actually consider that the Democrats are better at language than you, and you help them. You help them with the language. And that is why these people, these nuts in the Middle East, are able to keep advancing and doing what they're doing. Because you got a lot of drones out here who think that their cause is just, their cause is right. And they can't be any more evil than the racist Republicans that Democrats made us out to be. What do we have to say about it? What do we have to say about it? It has no validity. It has no clout. We're a bunch of science-denying, Bible-thumping racists. So how much worse can we be, or how much worse can they be than us? They're not going to believe what we have to say. Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm trying to tell you, knock it off with denying the white privilege. When you do that, you wipe the Democrat slate clean. The systemic racism, the white privilege. It's not an admission of guilt for you. It's taking that crime and putting it where it belongs. But you keep letting them put it on you. See what I'm saying? And when they're able to do that, and they're the ones who are able to go in and make policy, domestic, economic, military policy, we see death like this. And what do we got to say about it? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, another aspect of the propaganda arm, we just these racist Republicans, and you can see videos of Islamic terrorists. You can see Taliban over in Afghanistan riding in bumper cars and stuff. They riding in bumper cars. They at the gym and stuff like that. They having fun, right? Look at us. We're having fun. We're nice guys. No, don't let, and that's what that's gonna be playing, you know, for these Democrat drones to see. Just America's just, you know, these meanies, we conservatives, we meanies, we just want to kill them because we hate them, because we're racist, right? That's why we want to kill them. We just want to kill them because they're racist. Look at those nice people over there. They're just having a good time with bumper cars and stuff like that, you know, and playing skip rope and hopscotch and all that other stuff. You know, they nice guys. They're really sweet. They got that propaganda thing down too, right? So, you know, and it is, you know, and it's also a slap in the face of, it's like, yeah, we're the guys that your American military has been struggling against. So look at us. We just, you know, we playing our bumper car. Boom. Oh, so sorry. Don't bump me again. I'll kill you. You know, but you know, it's like they in their bumper car. It's like, wow, you guys had such a hard time against us, right? But it's engineered that way. You know, this whole thing is calculated, you know? And, you know, unfortunately, we got Republicans. They're so worried about getting reelected and all that sort of stuff. They play the game. You know, these are your deviant Republicans. That's not what it is to be a Republican. These are deviants, right? I stand by what it is to be a Republican. I don't stand by a lot of Republicans, you know, and I'm not one of those kind of Republicans. I'm leaving the Republican Party because that's what the Democrats want. You leave the Republican Party, you just rewarding Democrats. You ain't punishing Republicans. And I mean, it's a trip about Republicans, man. It's like, seriously, you talk about taking your country back. You can't even take your party back. You can't even take the schools back, right? You want to send your kids to the schools. Like I said, you want to send your kids to the school that the Democrats run. How about you take the schools back? Take the schools back. Don't just send your kids there. Take them back. Take back education, period. Who even says that that public school system has to be the thing? There should be an enterprise. This time of COVID should have been an enterprise of private education, right? Making sure that parents really have more direct contact with what their kids are earning, and making sure that the parents are the dominant influence, not somebody that, I don't care if it's a Republican or Democrat, I don't care, right? Don't get me wrong, because I know some folks, God-fearing teachers that you know, I'm thankful that they're in an education school system. But still, you know, it shouldn't be their job to babysit your kids. You know, your kids should be mentored by you. Now, if there's some specialization where teachers are more efficient and helping your kid learn, how to read and writing and arithmetic and stuff like that. Yeah, of course. I mean, sure. You want to be able to do that for your kid. That's great. You may not have that talent. The Lord delves out talents for what we can do and stuff like that. But the primary influence of your kid should be you. And in your occupation, you should be mentoring your kid, and your kid can apply those skills that they learn to whatever it is that may have a passion to. At least they got a foundation, a work ethic and stuff like that, knowing how to grow their passion into a lucrative business, and be able to bless other people with employment and stuff like that. You want to be able to train them up in that. But as it is right now, like I said, we got Republicans talk about taking back the country, can't even take back their own party, and can't even take back the school system. But instead send their kids to the godless. And then we wonder why we get something like Vietnam all over again. Because those same people who are out there protesting are the people who are teaching your kids. They grew up. Well, technically, they got older. They got the teaching jobs. They the one teaching kids, right? And these kids, they don't know good from evil, light from dark, bitter from sweet. They don't know. They think that the Palestine, they think that, and Muslims, they think they're the good guys. Israel's the bad guy, right? America's the bad guy, So now, and people don't learn. If people talk about these people need to get educated, they need to learn history. Yeah, they are getting educated. I wish conservatives would stop saying that. You need to get educated. That's what it's always been about. Education. It's not helping. Okay, it's not helping. Because educated in what? I think we need to be a little bit more clear on that. It's not just about getting educated. Because education is, what is this education that they're supposed to be getting? Sure enough, spend a lot of money on it. Show to spend, have our kids go there for a long time out of the day to get this education. What's it doing? Right? So, this whole thing of kids need to be taught how to think, what to think. No, they don't need to be taught how to think. They don't need to be taught what to think. Just encouraged to think prayerfully, right? In the name of Jesus, pray, have a foundation for some discernment, and then put that intellect to work. Learn how to be resourceful and stuff like that. And the kids ain't taught that. Kids are taught to be academic, right? Taking tests and all that sort of stuff. Not taught to be applicable. Learn how to actually, be resourceful and creative, and to know how to, build on things. Instead learn how to build, word problems and stuff like that to take a test. But, for real, needs to be some more application going on, and kids aren't being taught that. They're just taught to be a voter stock, taught to be like these political drones is to give a party more power to be able to take over the country is what they're trying to do. So at any rate, y'all, it's definitely going to take some prayer as far as this. It's like before, the Lord wants us to be intelligent. He wants us to be practical, but you got to have something to base that on. You see a lot of people out there, man, they're very intelligent people, but their intelligence is used foolishly. Their intelligence is used selfishly, and their intelligence is used self-righteously. It's not built on something solid. It's built on a twisted foundation, right? And you can't underestimate these people. Come on, man. You look at what these people do, to women, and when you got these feminists here looking at us like we're the evil ones, it's like how do you even make the commitment? It's got to be like some supernatural stupid stuff for you not to see the difference. How can you even try to draw some sort of moral equivalence here? You can't, or immoral equivalence, whichever. How do you do that? What's going on in terms of how these people treat people? People will try to look in their Quran, and they're suckered. They get suckered by things like that. When they look at they'll be told or believe things about Al Quran and the Hadith, and they'll think things like in Islam they're not supposed to wage war. It says according to them they cannot wage war against the innocent, right, or the unarmed. So you take that to mean the unarmed, the civilians, but it's basically they don't, people are suckered by the idea that according to their writings, that they cannot wage war against the innocent. And so they don't believe that they're out there killing innocent people, because these people are really steeped in their religion. They're very religious people, which means that they're very moral. I don't know, for some reason their religion can be very moral, right? But according to their religion, and they feel like these people are going by their religion, so according to their religion, they cannot kill innocent people. Okay, once again, you guys need to examine prayerfully, and you really should read the Bible itself so you can have a filter of discernment, a foundation of discernment. To a Muslim, you know, particularly in jihad, when you're killing an innocent person, there is no innocent person if you're not a Muslim. The Muslims are the innocent people. If you're not a Muslim, you're not innocent. You are an infidel. You are fair game for death. All right, so you're suckered by their doctrine and thinking that they can't wage war. Their life is a war against those who are not Muslim. Their life is a war if you do not live up to the statutes of Islam perfectly. All right, that's why they kill other Muslims. You see what I'm saying? According to their religion, with their religion, you have to be model. And in this religion, who can set that standard? Was Muhammad the standard setter? Muhammad, well, and if he's the standard setter, that means that they got to go and murder folks, right? It's like, hey, we got to live by how Muhammad did it. He's the model, right? So which means they got to go kill people. So if these people are not holding up to the model of what it is to be, and in Islam, if this person isn't holding up to the model, you can punish them however you want. Right? Yeah, even excuse me, even sodomize people. But it's okay. I mean, homosexuality is punishable by death in Islam. But if you're going to punish people by sodomizing them, that's okay. Yeah, you can sodomize people in Islam as long as it's punishment in the name of Allah, right? You're not being a model Muslim. I'm going to have to sodomize you for punishment. All right, see how it's strange. How do you live up to this religion? You can't. That's why they're not radicals. You can't satisfy it. They're insane, right? Or they're extreme, but radical? No, they're not rooted in anything. What's the goalpost for it? How do you satisfy it? You can't. So all that kind of stuff, man, when you look at that, when you can see that this is going on right before you, it's like scales, man. They got scales over their eyes. And that scale, one of those scales is just the fact that you're only Republicans, you're only saying that against Islam because you're racist. You see what I'm saying? And I'm trying to tell Republicans, stop giving the Democrats the fuel to tell people that you're racist. When they bring up the white supremacy, let them know. It's like, yeah, that's coming for you. But the Republicans know it. They know the history of the Democrat Party. But the second the white supremacy charge gets flung at them, it's like they forget all that sort of stuff, and then start defending themselves and say that no, there's no white supremacy, there's no white privilege, and then all you did was just shoot yourself in the foot. That's all you did. You see what I'm saying? Because of that pride. The pride gets in the way. You're so sensitive about assuming that this is an admission of guilt for you that you can't get past that. And this is why Democrats keep getting ahead. They know that. See, y'all Republicans, Democrats know you better than you know them. I'm trying to tell you, but for too many Republicans, they got too much pride to accept that, And maybe when you humble yourself before the Lord and get that discernment, you'll see the Democrats know you and have manipulated most of you, right? Much of the Republican Party has been manipulated by the Democrat Party. Like I said, you got a lot of Republicans out there waving their flags, so what do I know, right? And they'll just be out there, and it's about heritage and history and our Southern pride. It's like, no, that's what you've been taught. And if you're getting the authentic history about that Southern pride and history, you could have only gotten from Democrats, because Democrats are the ones who made it. That's the only place where you're going to get that real history from. Why you think people like me got that history from, I don't know, where did I get it from? But like I said, Republicans did it to themselves. That's why people don't really tend to listen to you when it comes to the war in Middle East, because you're only judging them as racist, right? And Democrats have sold it on the people, and Republicans helped Democrats sell it on the people that they're racist, So it'd be great if we could do something about that, change that around. There's no easy course to it. It's going to be hard no matter how you do it, but there's still an effective way to do it. And for some reason, too many Republicans don't want to go that route. They just want to go ahead and keep giving Democrats what they need. I would like to think that, like I said, Joe Biden, just keeps on getting away with what he gets away with, no matter the stuff that shows up about Hunter Biden and all that sort of stuff. And it doesn't matter. He's still president, still doing what he's doing. So I hope, I'd like to think that, hey, Biden, you kind of suck, at being president. And that needless to say, but he's still doing it. And but I guess it's still better than having Kamala as president. And anyway, y'all, prayers, man, Maranatha, Lord, come quickly. Because, this stuff can get really crazy. All right, y'all. Blessings. I hope that you guys go to the website, bronzeserpentmedia.com. Follow that link below. Get the mugs. Sip in style. Get your cup full of head right. Get them shirts. Drop a buck in the bucket if you dig what we be talking about up in her. All right? So we'll see you next time, and hopefully next time I'll have even something more useful to say. All right, blessings, y'all, and good night.